In this video, we're going to take a look at all of the different controllers we're going to use for Batocera and Atari, and also the arcade games for Batocera. And we'll also take a look at some of the shooting controllers and driving controllers and flight controllers. Okay, so here are our Atari wireless joysticks. This one is the standard joystick color. I got this off of Amazon for about $40. This one is the specialty Ghost Edition. I got this off of Atari.com. So let's take a look at this. This works really, really well, and it's a good weight too. So it's perfect. It recharges through USB-C, and it uses a USB dongle. So you plug this into the PC. You could use it for your Atari games. Feels really good. Or you could use it for your 7800. It comes with the 9-pin. Also wireless. So this is the standard controller. Look, works really well. Put that aside for a second. And this is the Ghost Edition Clyde. Now, it looks kind of orange, but when I opened it up, it kind of looks more yellow, more like the Pac-Man version. And so, I don't know. You tell me. Does that look the same? It's kind of more yellow. But it's just like this one, just specialty. Also charges with USB-C, and it has the dongles for the PC USB and the 9-pin for like the 7800. It has a good feel to it. They feel just about the same, but they have the other colors you can get. They have the red one, the Pac-Man yellow one, the pink one, and the blue. So I think they're about also $40 on Atari.com. Okay, so here are our Atari 2600 paddles. Now these are a brand new pair of paddles. I bought them on eBay. They were advertised as new, and they actually work great. There doesn't seem to be any wear and tear. So if you could find yourself a new pair of paddles, they came in the box, then get them, because to fix them, I guess you have to take them apart and do whatever and clean them, but nothing like a new pair of paddles. So I think this will work well with all the paddle games on the 7800. Okay, so here's our Atari 2600 driving controller. So I have another one of these. This is for Indy 500. This controller only works for Indy 500. I know a lot of people, may have thought early in the days of Atari that you could use this with Night Driver, but you can't. You actually have to use the paddles for Night Driver. And the difference is that the paddles, they sort of go and they kind of stop at some point, where the driving controllers, they go all around, maybe for spin-outs and such. But what's good is they work on the 7800 Plus. Might have to do a firmware update, but they work really well. Now, you can map this to Batocera, like I said, using an iCode. It may be a little tricky depending upon which version of RetroArch you're using, so that's an option, but we're just going to use this with the 7800. All right, so here are our Atari keyboard controllers. So this is used with games like basic programming, concentration, Codebreaker. Codebreaker is one of my favorite. It's like this game Mastermind I used to have. It's like a board game. So it doesn't require any overlays for the games except for basic programming. And those overlays come with the game of basic programming. I don't have those. But here are the keyboard controllers. So you just use these, and you could put this, I believe, like this. So then it's like this. And then you could use it to play concentration, flag capture. There's a whole bunch of games, maybe 6 or 7 games you use the keyboard controllers with. But also they work really well on the 7800, the new 7800. I would imagine mapping this in Batocera would be a lot. But again, a lot of people probably don't use this unless you're a fan of Atari, grew up with Atari, and you're into the nostalgia. Okay, so here's the Atari Video Touchpad. This is included with Star Raiders if you buy the big box. And that's the keypad. And This is what it looks like. And the overlay is included in the actual cartridge box here, right? So if you purchase just this on eBay, make sure the seller is including the overlay because it typically, or it always does come with this. Now, one of the reasons I guess Atari did this is maybe to enhance gameplay. So here you can look at different views. So the 4 view, turn the computer on and off. You can put your shields up. You can hyperwarp to a different part of space and then look at your map. And just to give depth to the game, there is a game called Star Raiders by Activision that is very similar to this, but it doesn't come with a keypad. It doesn't use a keypad. So because of the joystick and one button, this just enhances the game to give more gameplay. Okay, so this is a Nintendo NES wireless controller. It uses a USB micro to recharge, and it uses a USB dongle. So you plug this into your PC, and you could use this for your NES games or any other console with these type of buttons, these controls. So works really well. It's about $20 on Amazon. This is the Super Nintendo version, so also USB micro, and this also uses a dongle. So plug this into the PC. Works really well, holds a charge really well. I got these because I play a lot of NES, Super NES games, and we're just going to get rid of the wired ones. So these work well enough. I do still have the wired ones, but really all I need is one controller per console. All right, so this is the Sega wireless, and this was maybe about $30 on Amazon. Works really well, holds a charge. Also looks like a USB micro charge, and it uses a USB dongle, so you plug this into the PC. And it also came with this, a 9-pin, so maybe this works with the Sega if you have a Sega. But this works really well, and you don't have to worry about like an electric eye or anything, or lining up with the console or the PC. It just works really well like a regular USB if you were using like a USB mouse. So this is really, really good, and we could get rid of our wire controllers or just put them on the side, and this will go in our controller bin. Okay, so here is the Superbox 64 arcade controller. It connects through USB over here. This I got off of eBay for about $300. It was listed for $400, but I made an offer for $300 and they accepted. This one's called the Captain America version, I guess because of the red, white, and blue, but there's other color schemes you can get. It has a lot of buttons, has these buttons at the side. I'll get to that in a second. But the standard joystick you're used to for like Punch-Out, Pac-Man, it just has that arcade feel. The trackball, you have to map that in the MAME or in the game itself. The buttons and the joystick, you can map that in the main menu of Batacera. So I was able to map this to Centipede, the arcade version, and I was able to map this to Tempest and Arkanoid. I think that's like a breakout game in the arcade version. So these work really, really well. Now, one thing I'll say is there's a lot of other types of arcade controllers. There's the larger ones. There's the Atari Flight Stick. And a lot of them, they have the trackball, but they don't have the paddle. So I wasn't able to find one with the trackball and the paddle that's plug-and-play USB. So this works really great. It's heavy enough. You could put it on your desk or a table and maybe just put some Velcro here so it doesn't move. It shouldn't move. If you do that, it doesn't really move. Now, one thing I'll say, if you're a fan of video pinball, Atari video pinball, or any of the arcade versions or other consoles, these are really good to map these to the left and right buttons. So if you're playing like pinball, it has that kind of pinball feel with the flippers, right? Or here. So it works really well. I can vouch for it. And if you're a fan like me who loves arcade games, you can map this to almost any arcade game outside of like the driving games and the shooting games. So any questions, let me know in the comments below. Okay, I just wanted to show you these. These are the Nintendo Wii boxing gloves for Super Punch-Out. Maybe there's some other games you could play with these. Do you need them? No, you don't. You could just hold the controllers. But the idea is that you put these on, and you put the nunchuck in here, and you put the Wii controller here. I believe I did this only once, but worked pretty well. They're kind of like MMA gloves, if you follow MMA. I don't have the smallest hands, but once you get them in, they're really good. And you know, it responds really well. If you have the flash bar set up correctly, and when you move this way, you kind of dodge and you could punch. It's really physical. I like it. It's kind of cool. It feels like you're in the game, but you don't really need them. I just wanted to show you these. All right, let's talk about some of the shooting games. So this is a Nico Perfect Shot. I got this for like 15 bucks on eBay, brand new. And this just uses the Wii controller. Now we can map this with a Mayflash Dolphin bar to Batacera. Should work fine. And this one doesn't have the nunchuck, so this is good for like on-rail shooting where you don't really have to move around in the game and you could just like shoot, target practice. Could probably map it to some arcade games, maybe Duck Hunt, Operation Wolf. I know Die Hard 2 is a shooting game, first-person shooter game. So this works really well. It's pretty cheap. It's just plastic. Now, this other one is the one with the nunchuck. So you put the controller in here and the nunchuck here. So this is good if you have to like move around in the game, and the nunchuck acts like a trigger. This is a Joytech. That's the name of it. Again, it was like 15 bucks on eBay. This opens up. You put your controller here, the nunchuck there, and it works really well. So depending upon what type of game, you have the option for both of these, either moving around the game or just like a on-rail, they call it, just a shooting game. Okay, so this is a CTA Sniper Elite rifle, and the nunchuck goes here, and the Wii controller goes there. So you could use it, I guess, as a machine gun or a sawed-off shotgun. It has these extra buttons here. Maybe we could set it up for rapid fire and use it for like Terminator 2, you know, the machine gun game. So we'll see. But you could put I guess they call this the stock, right? So then you could kind of hold it in your shoulder and aim, right? And then you have this, I guess there's this barrel. It goes here, right? You can see that. So it's kind of becomes like a sniper rifle. Now I do have the stand you could put on a table. I may or may not use it, I don't know. But this is kind of really good for like, you know, Sniper Elite and those kind of games. It has this scope here. I don't know how well this works. We have to try it, but it just attaches here like that. And then you have like, you know, a sniper rifle. So think of like, you know, Black Ops, all those games, shooting games. So again, we have to map it to the Mayflash Dolphin bar to get it to work. Now, I'll just say, you know, if it doesn't work well, it should work, but it's really all about accuracy. The other option is they sell these Sinden light guns that are wired, and they're just like plug and play, and they're a little expensive, maybe a couple of $100 for the rifle, and then the handguns are like maybe $100 or $150. So this was only like, I don't even think I paid $25 for it on eBay. It's just a piece of plastic. But you know, it feels really good in the hands, and it should be a little weighted once we put the controllers in. So this is a good option. We'll have to test the accuracy once we map it to the Dolphin bar. Okay, last but not least of the guns, the Big Buck Hunter gun. Now this came with the Nintendo Wii. When I bought the Nintendo Wii game, Big Buck Hunter, I actually have two of these. And the weight feels great once you have the Wii controller and the nunchuck in it. And it's a pump action. Works great on the Wii. So now the challenge is to see if we can map this to the Dolphin bar. Maybe we could play the arcade version, or the Wii version. I don't know. We'll see. But this has always been really good. I love shooting games, first-person games, driving games, flying games. So this always worked well. We just have to see now if we can map it to Batacera so that we don't have to have so many consoles. Okay, let's talk about our PlayStation controllers. So this is a wireless controller I bought for, I think, maybe $20 on Amazon. It works really well. It feels a little light, but once you put in the batteries, it'll feel heavier. You don't have to recharge it. It uses a USB dongle or USB-C dongle. So again, trying to go wireless, no more wires. This is just a backup that I had, a regular plug and play generic PlayStation controller. This works really well. So if you run out of battery and you want to switch, you got that. These are just our standard PlayStation controllers that I had with the PS2. I'm sure they'll work on Batacera. I don't think we need all four, so we'll probably get rid of two and definitely keep the wireless. Okay, so let's talk about some of the flight yoke controllers. These are primarily used for Microsoft Flight Simulator on Windows 11, but you could use them probably for the Xbox Series, Xbox One. It probably works with Xbox 360 on Batacera, but they don't make any of these for the PS4, the PS5, or even the PS3. If you know of a flight yoke that's made for the PlayStation consoles, let me know down in the comments below. So looking at this one, Logitech, $149. The Turtle Beach, a little bit more money. And then I was looking at this Honeycomb here, Alpha Flight Controls, PC and Mac. So I think I'll have to do a little more research on which ones are the best for the price. This way we can do a lot of the flying games. Can they be used for battle flying games or Star Wars games? I don't know. As long as it's on the platform that it supports, possibly. But we'll have to do more research into that. Okay, so we're looking at the Thrustmaster for flight sticks, T-Flight HOTAS 4. Now this is compatible with PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. So we can use this on Batacera for Xbox 360 games. We can also use it for Windows 11 for Flight Simulator. It's probably not compatible with the original Xbox on Batacera, but it should work with Xbox 360, and of course on Windows. Now this also is not compatible with PS3, but I probably won't play any PS3 flight games. I'll just play them all on PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, and Windows 11. So I think this is a good choice. Now, just one thing I want to mention is I don't think this is available anymore. Retail is about $100. Having trouble finding it. I don't think they make it anymore. So you could probably get it on eBay used for maybe $150 because they know it's in demand, or maybe for $200 brand new. So I'd like to just have one flight stick controller and not like different ones because of different platforms. I think this will work fine. All right, and finally the Logitech G29 Driving Force Racing Wheel. So the driving controller that we can use for the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, and also for PC. So again, we want to use one controller for different platforms. Maybe this won't work with PS3, but that's okay. Most of the driving games we're going to play are on PS5, PS4, and on Batacera. Maybe we can map this to some of the arcade games or the old arcade games like Outrun. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. I think you can use this for Grand Theft Auto also, but I think there's either an adapter or some kind of software or some workaround you have to do if you want to use it for Grand Theft Auto and get out of the car and play the game, driving game, and also moving around in the game, because you do have the crosshair and the buttons. So we'll try that also. So I think this is a good option. It comes with the pedals, right? They look like steel pedals. I think they are. We'll have to mount them to the floor or make sure they're secure on the floor so it doesn't slide. And even though we're using a gaming cabinet, we'll probably use a table, and we'll just make sure this is secure on the table so that we have a good experience. But I think this is the best option, and $200 is really not a lot of money compared to some of the other driving wheels and what they cost. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. In the next video, we're going to be tiling the sides of the gaming cabinet with the artwork magnets.